Most superheroes have incredible powers of some sort that allow them to fight crime and save the day. But while some heroes, like say Superman, have spent years practicing with their powers so that they are always in total control of them, not all heroes have this benefit. Welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I'm Andrew Boyd, and today we will be looking at the top 10 superheroes who can't control their powers. Let's dive in. Number 10. Gambit. Remy LeBeau is a powerful and popular member of the X-Men, with the ability to tap into an item's potential kinetic energy, making it a dangerous and explosive weapon. He often uses smaller items, like a deck of playing cards, which he will then throw at his enemies. The only real limit on these powers is that he needs to make direct skin contact with whatever item he's charging, hence the cool fingerless gloves, and the amount of time it takes him to charge the object, with larger objects taking longer. He also has the ability to hypnotically charm people, making them more likely to do what he wants. Before he was a member of the X-Men though, he was a master thief, but he found that he was having trouble controlling his powers, and was worried that he might potentially harm other people. This caused him to seek out the help of Mr. Sinister, who gave Gambit a surgery, removing part of his brain in order to dampen his powers and make them more manageable. Number 9. Captain Atom. Captain Atom was originally a Charlton Comics character, the same way that the Blue Beetle used to be. DC Comics eventually purchased Charlton's collection of heroes, and as a result, he was introduced into the DC universe. In the DC retelling of his origin, Nathaniel Atom was a man sentenced to death for treason. He was offered the opportunity to instead sign up for an experiment designed to test the structural integrity of an alien metal. To test this, they placed Atom in a metal cage and then blasted it with a nuclear explosion. He was vaporized, but much like the Watchmen character he inspired, Dr. Manhattan, he was reformed with the metal now covering his skin. Captain Atom can tap into the quantum field and convert the energy into powerful blasts. He can also generate and manipulate matter, such as when he transformed Green Arrow's arrows into butterflies. Captain Atom has to be very careful with his powers though, as he is essentially a walking nuke. When he uses his upper power levels, he will start to leak radiation, and if his metal skin is ruptured, he risks detonating like an atomic bomb and destroying whatever city he's in. Number 8. Radius. Jared Corbo is a mutant who was raised with his half-brother Adrian in the East Ontario town of Orlew, at an orphanage called Hull House, or as the orphans nicknamed it, Hell House. Unbeknownst to most of the residents, Hull House was actually being operated by the Canadian superhero agency known as Department H, as a way to find and recruit members for their various superhero teams, such as Alpha Flight. Sometimes they waited until the orphans were of age, and sometimes they would have them adopted by the department so that they could participate while being underage. Which sounds bad, but when you think about it, isn't that different from what Professor X is doing. Jared's mutant powers allow him to create a force field, which he is incapable of shutting off. While this protects him from harm, it also means that he can't touch or be touched by others, and is even unable to effectively shower, and can't eat without wearing a special eating filter which converts the food to a form that can get through the field, allowing Jared to get the necessary nutrients he needs to survive. Number 7. Isca The Unbeaten. Isca is thousands of years old and is the sister of Genesis, who is the wife of Apocalypse. She is a hardened warrior who respects power and strength, like the other mutants of Arakko, and her powers reflect this. Isca's power is tychokinesis, which is the power over luck and probability. But specifically, her power means that she cannot lose, or the better way to say it is that she always wins. This includes one-on-one contests, votes, and wagers, but also larger battles where she is a member of a team or army. In contests of skill, her power, including some limited shape-shifting, gives her the talents she needs to win, or she might just win through improbable circumstances. So far it sounds pretty good. Always winning is so good it just sounds like ridiculous and lazy writing. But it also means that in larger battles or wars, her powers weigh the probability of the two sides and make her defect from the losing side and join the winning side, even if the losing side was composed of those she truly cared about. Meaning that even though she still technically won, she betrayed her closest friends and allies. So she has a great power, but no control at all on how it manifests. Number 6. Black Bolt. Blackagar Boltigan made his first appearance in Fantastic Four number 45. He is the Inhuman King, who when exposed to the mutagenic Terrigen Mist was granted power of an incredible level, even for an Inhuman. His power comes from his voice, with even the smallest whisper being capable of rocking a battleship. This power was discovered when he was just a baby, and in order to protect his community, he was kept away from society until he was 19, in order for him to try and learn to control his powers. When finally let into society, he saw a Kree warship, which he brought down with his voice. Unfortunately, the ship landed on the local government officials, including his parents, and he accidentally became the leader of the Inhumans at age 20. He is really good at not speaking now, as he knows all too well how little control he has over his powers and their effects on others. Number 5. Radioactive Man. Not to be confused with the Simpsons superhero whose goggles do nothing, or with the DC Comics villain, we are talking about the Marvel hero known as Radioactive Man. Making his debut in Journey into Mystery number 3 in 1963, Chen Lu is a nuclear physicist who exposed himself to small amounts of radiation at a time until he was able to build up a powerful immunity to it, as well as the ability to manipulate it to his benefit. However, he is unable to stop being radioactive, and therefore he can't be around anyone without giving them radiation sickness. He's able to mitigate this to an extent with the use of a containment suit, but this only works for a limited amount of time. This was a constant issue for the character, but later issues later retconned his abilities so he was able to have greater control of his powers, allowing him to not give all of his friends cancer. Number 4. Rogue. Anna Marie first appeared in Avengers Annual number 10. She was raised in a hippie commune in Mississippi with her close friend Cody Robbins. One day, Cody decided that it was time to shoot his shot with Anna Marie. Proving that the worst she could do is say no thing is a bit inaccurate, when Cody and Anna made direct skin contact, her mutant powers drained him of his life force, leaving him in a permanent coma. She eventually found a way to make this power work for good when she joined the X-Men, and she got more powers once she made contact with Carol Danvers. But overall, Rogue is unable to control her draining powers and is forced to wear gloves at all times in order to avoid making direct contact with anyone who she could accidentally hurt. Number 3. Friendly Fire. Friendly Fire is a member of Section 8 who has the ability to shoot powerful energy blasts out of his hands that deal devastating damage. Unfortunately, as his name suggests, he is totally incapable of hitting what he is aiming at, and instead always ends up hitting his teammates. This has led to a couple of deaths of Section 8 members, but the worst death has got to be the one that occurred when the team went up against the mini-angled ones. These strange visitors attacked the team, easily dispatching team members like Jean de Baton and Dog Welder. Friendly Fire realized that it was up to him, and he had to come through for his friends. As he put it, "I gotta do it. Just this once. Gotta hit what I'm aiming at. Can't let my buddies down. Must hold the power." He unleashed the full force of his blast and blew his own head off, barely being able to utter the word crap before dying. Number 2. Infectious Lass. First appearing in Superboy number 201, Drura Sept from the planet Somatur is part of an alien race whose bodies play host to a variety of different microorganisms. The people of her planet are able to play host to these bacteria without suffering any ill effects, but they were able to infect the people around her. This sounds like it could have some potential for a superhero power, the ability to unleash germ warfare on your enemies. But unfortunately, Infectious Lass is unable to control who she infects, and is just as likely to infect any of her allies as she is her enemies. She tried out for the Legion of Superheroes, but was denied membership as she was deemed more of a risk to the Legion members than an asset. Number 1. The Hulk. When Bruce Banner was accidentally caught in the blast radius of his experimental gamma bomb, he underwent a startling metamorphosis. Whenever he becomes angry or outraged, he transforms into the Hulk. The Hulk is of course a giant green rage monster who is prone to going on rampages and smashing things. Hulk is viewed as a monster by society, and by extension, so is Banner. Banner has to make constant efforts to control the beast within, but since it would be a boring comic if the Hulk never came out, Bruce constantly loses control and unleashes the Incredible Hulk onto the world. Are there any other heroes who can't control themselves or their powers? Let us know in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for more Top 10 Nerd.